On April 23, 1966, a precious gift was born to Clara May and Charles Utsi. With 4 older brothers, 4 older sisters, and 2 younger sisters joining in later, Candace Jean Utsi never had time to be bored or alone. She was a small bundle in a large family. Her family continued to grow as she became an aunt, and there were always young children and babies in the home. This would be a constant theme throughout her life, as she loved being around small children. During her junior year of high school, she met the greatest earthly love of her life, Anthony Randall Smallwood, or Randolph as she would call him. After they graduated from Wayne Trace Vocational High School, they decided to tie the knot and seal their love.
On a Sunday morning in May of 1985, family urged the newlyweds to attend a church where John Lewis was preaching. Both Candi and Randy fell under conviction there and received Christ as their Savior that morning. Thank God for the hope and promise of heaven.
2 years after their marriage, God blessed their home with their first baby girl. It was a rough pregnancy and delivery, with Mom being in the hospital for 6 weeks before her cesarean. Visitors would sneak in score bars without the nurses noticing during their visits. Dad would only be able to visit on the weekends because of work. Luckily, the second baby girl's delivery was smoother, albeit 24 hours long. Mom said she loved being pregnant, but didn't like pictures taken of her during those 9 months. At the age of 29, almost 30, Mom delivered her third 9-pound, 14-ounce baby girl in just 45 minutes. It was so fast and the baby was so big, but her heart was full and our family was complete.
With a marriage came a new family, and Mom was thrilled to have even more sisters in her life. They loved planning girl getaways, where they would escape responsibility for a few days every other year and enjoy spending quality time together.
To begin to say goodbye to your sister, to begin a new normal without her here, to begin to heal and to have closure, keep her legacy and her memory alive. Candi was 6 years older than me. She and Randy drove me to my friend's house on their first date. I sat behind Randy as he was driving down the highway, when the back of Randy's seat broke and he fell over backwards towards me. I hollered loudly as he scrambled to sit back up to keep control of the vehicle. I brought this up to Candi a few times over the years, and we would just laugh. Candi babysat my children when they were younger, and I babysat hers when she went to be a teacher's aide at Grace Academy. We have a lot of fond memories as our children grew to be friends. Candi always prayed for me, and she told me so. And in my days as a lost, hell-bound sinner, she always prayed for me. She continued to invite me to church with her family, and I got saved as a direct result of my sister loving me, praying for me, believing in me, and inviting me to church. My legacy will now be in Christ also, because my sister shared her godly legacy with me. She always encouraged me in homeschooling my children. We have so many happy memories from our trips to their house in recent years, to spend the weekend, to go to the Ark, go to the Creation Museum at Christmas time. We so looked forward to the visits. We loved going to church with them when we visited. Candi always introduced me as, "This is my baby sister, Claude," and it warmed my heart every time. When she was diagnosed with cancer, I wanted to be fearful. She would always tell me, "I don't know what the future holds, but I know who holds the future." My faith has been strengthened so much through my sister's courageous battle against cancer. How she clung so tightly to Jesus. She always gave him the glory and the praise. and she would say, "The Lord's will, not mine." I never saw her faith waver once, right to the very end. I was given the honor and the privilege of being with her as she drew her last breath, as the angels came and carried her to heaven, as it says in Luke 16:22. For the last 2 weeks of her life, she said that she stopped praying to be healed, and she started praying to die with grace, and she did just that. Right to the very end, she believed, and she trusted, and she grew in grace. I love you, my sweet sister. I will see you again in glory, and until then, I will remember to pray. I cherish this gift that you gave to me. It sits next to my bed. It's the last thing I see when I go to sleep at night, and it's the first thing I see in the morning when I wake up.
My mother was a very loving grandmother, or mama. She was so excited when my sister and I had our babies. She loved to spoil them and show them how much Papa and she missed them, were praying for them, and how much they wished we could all be together. I know it broke her heart to live so far away. Our kids will always remember her packages showing up on the doorstep. Each one was filled with their favorite candies and toys. I am sorry Holly's little ones will never get a package from Mama, but we will try to take her place and show them how much she would have loved them. All the young children she adopted as her own grandchildren here in the church and at K-Field were not just a recipient of her love, they also helped to fill the sorrow she had from living so far away from her grandbabies.
I have to say this has been one of the most difficult assignments I've ever had. Now I know how my students feel when they have writer's block. I just couldn't find the words to express everything I wanted to say about Candi. So here goes. Candi and I had a great relationship from a very young age. Maybe it was because we were 4 years apart. Maybe it was because we were both on the quiet side. But whatever the reason, it happened. Her closest friend Stacy and one of my close friends Kathy were sisters. So that meant countless hours with each other and with our friends. Many years we would hang out at the 24-hour basketball marathon called Playing Ball for Those Who Can't. I would tell you that we spent the entire 24 hours in the gym, where Mom and Dad thought we were, but that wouldn't quite be the truth. Yes, we did meander around the great big town of Payne. Fortunately, we weren't kids who got into trouble often, so no harm, no foul. As a young middle schooler, it was great having a high school sister who wanted to hang out with you. Heading off to high school without her around was difficult, but I did get through. Fast forward a few years, and I'll be honest, I'm not sure that I would have adjusted as easily to college if she didn't live just across town. A home-cooked meal, a familiar face, a place to get away to, an unannounced visit from her. It was all very welcomed and very appreciated. I still remember how proud she was of me when I got my first teaching job 29 years ago. She didn't like the idea of me moving 2 hours away, but she was very proud of me. I can remember her telling others in that southern drawl of hers how neat it was to have a sister who was a teacher. I'm still not sure where she got that accent from, because she was raised in the same home I was raised in, and she hadn't moved to the Louisville area yet. Anyway, I sure missed having her around after they did move. Visits became even more special as they seemed limited and short, but we both made time to see each other a couple times a year. When Candi told me she had breast cancer, I wasn't sure how I was going to survive it. She was a fighter through the whole experience and never showed signs of weakness. She took every treatment in stride and fought for the physicians to do all that they could to help her. I learned through her that I am probably stronger than what I think I am. Even in adversity, she had a lesson for me to learn. If I could only take one thing from Candi, it would be that I need to be kind to everyone every day, because I have no idea what they're going through. The last 4 months have been an adjustment period for me. I've been angry, I've been sad, I've been happy, relieved, frustrated, lonely. The list goes on and on. However, I have also felt a stronger connection to God. Candi often told me that she thought God always wanted her to have one more person to make a connection with so that she could bring them to God. On the morning of her passing, she didn't bring me to Christ, but she did bring me closer to Christ. As I sat quietly at her side in the early hours of the morning, I listened to her talk in her sleep, which we all know she did often. As I look back on that day, I know that I was not imagining things, or that the words that she said were not just a dream. As Candi fell in and out of sleep, she said many things to Mom and Dad, to family members, but mostly to God. I kind of brushed them off as memories. With everything she said that morning, I came to the conclusion that I don't have any doubt she is spending eternity with our loving God, and that I too one day am going to be right there with her. Thank you, Candi, for allowing me to be one of the lucky people that you have influenced in your life. Love you.
This is not gonna work. Hi.
Oh yeah.
My goodness. Hi, I'm Susie, one of Candi's beloved sisters. I can't remember a time that Candi didn't have a smile on her face and open arms for hugs, backed by words of comfort and joy. I'm one of Candi's biological sisters. I say this because she always made everybody feel like family. No matter who you were, who they were, she was just that caring. Though I have many memories of my sister, one of the fondest was with my mom, my sister Cheryl, and myself. And we went to stay with Candi and spent quality time with her. In September of 2019, I went to Candi with my daughter and my grandchildren. While we were there, Candi led my daughter back to Christ. Just given the comfort of knowing that she would end up in heaven with her. So it's not goodbye, but it's also later.
One of the things I loved about Mama is that she was very kind and loving. Here are some other words that describe her. G is for godly. R is for rad, which also means cool. A is for amazing. N is for nice. D is for dear. M is for meek. And A is for awesome. Now if you put all those beginning letters together, that equals Mama. Now she was always ready to spend her time and money on stuff to give us. And now that she has left this world, I am not sad because she has no more of the stuff to give us. I am sad because she's no longer with us, but she still is someplace with us in our hearts.
Hi, my name's Elise, and I had the privilege of calling Candi Smallwood my friend. We had girls about the same age, and so we went to a lot of volleyball games and school functions together and shared a lot of memories that way. But my favorite memories of her was in the kitchen at college. She loved her kitchen. She loved working in the kitchen. She loved feeding the college students. She loved her kitchen girls that worked with her. They were like her daughters, and she was like their mom away from home. And some of my favorite memories was when I worked at the college. I taught at the high school and the college when the college was over on the Shawnee Baptist property, and my lunch schedule didn't always follow the college lunch schedule, and I always loved to eat at the college because Candi, if anybody knows her, she could cook, and I wasn't always able to eat during the college lunch hour, so because of my high school schedule. Well, sometimes I would end up eating a couple days a week. I would eat with her and the college girls that worked in the kitchen after they were done serving everybody else. They would save me a plate, and I would go into the kitchen and eat with them and laugh and talk and share stories. And again, she was like their mom away from home, and she counseled them, and we just had such a good time and sharing recipes, and again, just laughing and having fun. And those are some of my favorite memories, sitting around the table with Candi and her girls. And then later, when she wasn't feeling so well and she wasn't able to work, my other memories of her are that she was always serving. If there was anything going on at church, if pastor announced we need to hand out flyers, or we need to put labels on a mail out, or we need to get packages ready for visitors, or anything he announced, Candi was there. She would be in the office and she would be helping, and she'd show up, and sometimes she probably didn't feel well, but she was there and she served. And so I count it a privilege to call Candi my friend. I cherish all the memories that I have with her.
I have so many wonderful memories of Candi. Sitting at her kitchen table with a cup of coffee. Her table was always welcoming. It was just a place to gather and to talk and to share and laugh. Lots of laughter at that kitchen table. We played games, tried to figure out games and puzzles and things. It was a wonderful place to be. It was a very happy place. But one of my favorite memories is our last adventure was at the zoo. And they had a butterfly exhibit. And she walked in that butterfly exhibit and she was in awe at the beauty that she saw. She kept saying over and over, "Look what God created. How can someone not believe in God? Look what He created." And a butterfly landed on her arm. She was so excited, trying to hold still. She's like, Cindy. And she was showing me the butterfly. She was loving every moment that it rested upon her. She always said that I made her stronger and that I was there for her. In all reality, she was there for me. God sent Candi to be my friend. I love her very much, and I cherish every memory we have together.
Hello, Smallwood family. This is the Wilt family from Pensacola. We want to express our condolences to you and let you know that you're in our thoughts and in our prayers. We sure appreciate the Smallwood family and their investment to our family when we were there in Shawnee Baptist Church. In fact, we first met Brother Randy and Mrs. Smallwood on bus number 3, as Brother Randy was the bus driver and Mrs. Smallwood was the bus helper. And we really knit our hearts together in just serving the Lord together and trying to reach boys and girls there in the Portland area. And we want you to know that Mrs. Smallwood, to us and to our family, she really invested into us and to our children and treated us like her very own family.
I can remember so many times that she would offer to babysit our kids. A lot of times it started off with a text during the day just saying, "Hey, can Brother Johnny take you out on a date tonight so that Brother Randy and I can come spend time with your kids?" And as a mom, that meant so much to me that she wanted to spend time with my children. She was a very good friend of mine, somebody I could talk with. And really the last few years, watching her battle her cancer, I know she had so many Facebook posts, and every single one of those was so very encouraging. I know there were ups and downs, I know there were difficult days, but so often she expressed her faith in the Lord, that she didn't know exactly what tomorrow held, but she knew who was holding tomorrow. And that was just such an encouragement to me, just to see her faith through the Lord taking her and her family through this trial.
Our thoughts and prayers are with you, and we know that heaven has truly gained a dear saint when heaven received Mrs. Smallwood.
I was able to spend a lot of time and make a lot of memories with Mom over the last few years. While they were probably her hardest years, she made sure they were some of the most beautiful for me. I was able to watch her fight with cancer up close and personally, and with it, I watched her become the strongest woman I've ever known. If you knew Mom, you know she loved her Jesus, her Randy, her daughters, and her grandkids. Any conversation you had with her was bound to involve one of them. In the last few years, I watched Mom learn to take a step back, no matter the situation, and absorb every minute of beauty from every situation. We went to Broadway shows together, painted acrylics in the dining room, walked the walking bridge, and tried new restaurants. I made her try sushi once last year, and I think she was forever a little bitter that I even tried. But through all the adventures and all the changes, one thing stayed the same: her love. Love for family, for Jesus, for memories, and for all that God gave her, all of the good. I don't believe in a God that gave Mom cancer, and you can agree or disagree with that as you will. But I believe in a God that gave her a lot of other things. He gave her a friend when she maybe felt like no one understood. He gave her a song when her heart felt heavy, a comfort in a very dark last few weeks and days. And of course, he gave her his hand as she took her last breath.